Can't fit that down your trousers, can you?
Well, no. No. But I think you should try for a YouTube video, Pete.
Wow.
Hello and welcome to the Abroad in Japan podcast. Probably the best way of learning about life in Japan without actually being in Japan. I'm your host, Chris Broad, and we're joined as always by England's top Japan enthusiast, Mr. Pete Dawson.com. Pete, how the devil are you doing? What's going on out there?
What's going on out there? I'm good. I'm drinking what can only be described as a Vita Coco coconut water after somebody recommended that for dehydration. Apparently coconut water is very good at attacking dehydration. I don't really know why, as it got salts in it. And I just think with you heading out on your cyclothon pretty much now, I think you should be considering not drinking water, but drinking plenty of coconut water.
I thought you were going to say like Red Bull or Monster. Have you stopped drinking your chemical concoction of crap? Or
Well, we spoke on the last show about entering our prohibition era, entering a time where we just stopped drinking quite so much alcohol, and that's certainly where I've got in my private life, my alcohol consumption. Not when I'm heading to WrestleMania. I'll take a week off that one, but I've stopped. I say almost entirely. I could have said entirely my Monster consumption after I had a slightly worrying palpitation situation that I think was down to dehydration more than that. Yeah, it just got a bit shaky. It was a bit like couldn't breathe and wobbly bobblies. But I had my heart checked out a couple of years ago and it was fine.
A couple of years ago, maybe it's
a couple of years ago. I can't imagine anything's changed since then.
I remember when I was a student, one of the most popular drinks in the UK at bars was vodka Red Bull, right? And I had like 4 or 5, and I remember my heart felt like it was going to implode or explode. It's fucking scary. I couldn't breathe.
Yeah,
you got to be careful with that stuff. Got to be careful. Stick to Tully's coffee. All the thrills of caffeine, no taurine.
Cocaine. But I stopped drinking completely the Monsters, and then yesterday I did need one because I was really tired. And I was on the way to work. I was like, I'm fucking slamming a Monster. Fuck it. And it wasn't even a Monster to me. It was a Rockstar. They're still kicking a ball. The old pomegranate flavoured Rockstar. Disgusting. Absolutely.
Well, unfortunately,
disgusting.
Prime is now here in Japan, so Prime is a thing.
Taking its time, innit? Like you were talking about on a previous show about how long stuff takes to get to Japan, and that's astonishing that it's taking that time.
Some cases it's good, in some cases it's good, man. But we're no fucking rushed to get that shit here. But it's unfortunate. It's very noticeable in the big old vending machines and whatnot. But hopefully nobody drinks it. And it's gone soon. Dare to dream. But yeah, we're on the final straight, the home straight, up until the cyclothon. This is the last podcast you and I are going to record before the cyclothon, and hopefully not ever.
Yep.
But
See how the cyclothon goes, I guess.
I am, a bit nervous. I'm a bit anxious about it. I also, the weather at the moment, it looks like fucking Noah's Ark speed run. Like, it looks really dicey up in Hokkaido. Originally, we were worried about the snow because Hokkaido's still quite cold, and they do have a bit of snow there. But it looks like rain is going to be our main opponent, and I am rather worried. So we got rain, we got bears, we got cold, we got Connor. Plenty of things to look forward to on this cyclothon, all streamed in glorious HD video for you to enjoy from your couch or your sofa. From Bangkok to Beijing, Broadstairs to wherever you are, Pete. People can enjoy it.
Yeah, people can just sort of drink it in, I suppose. There's going to be just a lot of IRL streaming, lot of this and that. I mean, how do sort of batteries work on the road? Is there kind of like hot swappable batteries that people have got in their pockets? I always go into the tech side of things because that's the thing that interests me. But how much kind of lithium ion are you shifting?
Well, I know Connor has a backpack, and in the backpack there's a battery that could power like an aircraft carrier, and he keeps that on him, and that can keep the camera going all day without fail. So there's that. I really, I'm lucky I get to avoid all the tech kind of side of things. I just turn up and say stupid things and swear a few times, and that's my contribution to the cyclothon. Connor's got to carry the whole backpack thing, so fair play to him. But check it out. It'll be on the CDogVA Twitch channel, and I'm not filming it this time, as I mentioned, but I'm going to be posting about it every day on Instagram. And Instagram specifically because it's a lot easier to share photos and videos there. So if you don't follow Abroad in Japan on Instagram, do follow me there because it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to sharing the journey more in real time than what I did before when I'd film it and post the video thereafter. So keep an eye out. But we got a story from Leonard from Netherlands. Leonard. Who says, hello, eSIM entrepreneur Chris. I am. And blister on a plane popping Pete. Ugh. Ugh, have you done that? It's probably a horrible story.
Yeah, I think we spoke about that. My hate crime on a woman's leg.
Oh, no, fucking hell. And on the subject of eSIMs, Jenny Japan eSIM, check it out now. It's going to be powering the cyclothon, actually. The internet is going to be
the reviews have been very positive. You do worry about that sort of stuff because there's a lot of stuff because obviously you're not running the whole thing with the wires and the the stuff
hitting buttons and pulling cables. Yeah,
so that's always a bit of a risk. I think that
it
kind
is,
of product, but you've got to be very happy with the fact that all the reviews have been very, very positive that I've seen.
I'm very pedantic and anxious about things. I remember when Lost Bar opened, I was fucking terrified that it would all go wrong, and it went fine. And same with the eSIMs, it's gone really great. And thanks to everyone that's got it.
Baby. Yeah, you want to choose the very best for your people.
But Leonard says, about a year ago, I was visiting Bar Rockaholic in Shinjuku. Oh, there's another one. I only know the Shibuya one, your beloved Shibuya branch. Anyway.
There are two, yes, there are two. I've never been to the second one, I must admit.
You haven't lived. Slamming down some ginger highballs with my girlfriend in Bar Rockaholic, and in the corner of the bar, a long-haired Japanese guy was doing shots with friends when suddenly it became clear that he'd lost his battle with alcohol, running outside to be physically sick. He didn't really seem to be ashamed by this, though, as 10 minutes later he reappeared loudly, muttering nonsense in the doorpost of the restrooms. A Rockaholic staff member rushed over to him and put a huge plastic bag over his wayward hair and sweaty forehead so he wouldn't make a mess of the place. Is this just suffocation, like a gangster suffocation? He then tried sitting on a nearby bar stool, only to fall off a couple of times. Now, in my home country in the Netherlands, he would have been kicked out of the bar at least 3 times over, but not in Rockaholic. The staff used several tables and bar stools to pin him to the wall, so he would stay put until the alcohol had worn off. His name was Pete Donaldson. Later that holiday, I noticed the Japanese seem way more friendly and patient with drunk people than what I'm used to back home. Always patting their backs and staying by their side when they vomit onto the street. As experts on the topics of both Japan and Bar Rockaholic, can you explain why the staff didn't simply kick the guy out, but instead used whatever force necessary to keep the guy inside of their neon-coloured metal music paradise? Thank you for the great show and all the best, guys. Leonard from the Netherlands. Isn't that lovely? Or a heartwarming story of hospitality and vomit. That's nice, though. Do you find that are people more mindful in Japan and nicer to those who drink too much?
They certainly don't seem to mind sort of people just passing out. I think I've spoken before. Me walking back down to Shibuya the next morning after a particularly heavy Halloween experience, and I remember I fell asleep in the street dressed as Edward Scissorhands for a good hour, I think, and everybody. I mean, people must have pictures of Edward Scissorhands asleep in the street on their phones. Pictures I'll never see of myself completely inebriated, snoozing on the floor. But the next day I found like 3 of my scissors on the floor as going up to my hotel. So yeah, people do just sort of let you get on with it. Yeah, but people just fall. You're allowed to just fall asleep. In bars, head on the table. Nobody seems to mind. It really is the land of the free, very much. Because just sometimes, like you will try and medicate, you'll try and get yourself fucking Red Bulls or whatever. Sometimes the night's not happening. So if you just were allowed, give yourself 10 minutes, 20 minutes, just to get your head down, really dry those contact lenses out, and just doze off for a good 20 minutes, and just get through it. You get a second wind. and the bar wins because they make more money in the end of it. So I think most bars around the world should allow people to stick their heads on the tables, have a little sleep. I mean, I don't endorse necessarily putting big plastic bags over people's heads to stop vomit being touching the walls, but yeah.
Land of the rising sun. More like land of the rising fun. Come here, get drunk. Let the staff treat you with care. Isn't that lovely? What isn't lovely, though? Guns. Nobody likes guns. Well, a lot of people do like guns. An American tourist actually brought a gun into the country the other day, like you do.
Yes, yeah.
It's a ridiculous story. I can't believe this happened, actually. What happened, Pete? Fill us in on this senior citizen tourist from America bringing in his arsenal to Osaka.
Pow, pow, bang, bang. Howdy, y'all. I'm on my Japanese trip. A 73-year-old American tourist managed to fly from Hawaii in the States all the way to Kansai International Airport in Osaka with an illicit item. He and his wife managed to clear customs without issue and head on to their hotel in Izumisano. When he was unpacking, he found a pouch in his suitcase containing a revolver and some ammunition. Just good.
Oh my God.
He keeps the luggage. He keeps the gun in his luggage for self-defense, and he basically forgot to remove it before the trip. Instead of going straight to the police, he waited until the next day when they boarded a cruise ship in Kobe. Perfect place to throw it in the bay. Perfect place. Just throw the gun in the bay, for crying out loud. Do you? Yeah, I mean, wild. Instead of going straight to the police, he waited until the next day when they boarded the cruise, and he told the cruise staff about the gun, thinking they'd handle it better because of the language barrier. The staff contacted police. Then they searched the terminal. They found 3 bullets in a restroom trash can. The man admitted to tossing them there, fearing harsher penalties for having both the gun and the ammunition. He was swiftly arrested for violating Japan's strict firearm and sword control law. After some deliberation, Japanese prosecutors decided not to press charges, likely because he's 73. He came forward voluntarily. But he was detained for over a week, which shows how seriously Japan take these matters. Check your bags before international travel to avoid such situations. It's interesting, isn't it, that people are allowed to fly at all with guns. I mean, that's absolutely
Crazy.
wild.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I think there's a common misconception, isn't there, that Japan doesn't have guns or firearms, but there's actually 178,000 registered licenses amongst citizens across the country, mainly for hunting, sometimes for competitive reasons, but primarily for hunting. But there are guns here, not on the scale of America, where I think there's like 1 for every man, woman, and child. Yeah, at least he came forward. He handled it almost as well as he could have, maybe just without bringing it in the first place. That might have been even better.
I would have waited until that ship was well into the water and just threw it over the side.
But you're just as bad. You'll stick swords in your suitcase, won't you?
Swords. Apparently, the Prime Minister is banning samurai swords, so I don't know what I'm going to do. It might be a samurai sword amnesty. I'm going to go down there in my official Japanese kimono and my sword and lay down my sword to the amnesty. But yeah.
Wait, really? So katana swords are out, right?
Apparently so, yeah. I mean, that's what basically Keir Starmer announced last week. They just said no more samurai swords.
I saw it worded
from
as like
my cold dead hands.
I saw it phrased as something like we're going to confiscate the ninja swords, the swords of the ninja. And it's like, well,
the ninjas.
Shuriken, throwing darts and things. So you're actually going to have to get rid of it then?
I don't know, to be honest. He's not really. It was almost Trumpian in the way that it was sort of announced. He sort of said, "No more samurai swords. We do the things that say we do the things we say we're going to do, etc." So yeah, interesting. They're getting rid of the old samurai sword. So I don't know how that one's going to pan out, but hopefully, it is sad. My little ninja samurai experience.
Samaru. Samaru. Kangaroo versus samurai sword. A samurai wielding kangaroo. Going off an unnecessary tangent there. You think like samurai swords are the ones, the knives that are less at risk of being used because you can't fucking conceal a samurai sword while walking through the streets of London, right? In the same way you can with every other form of knife. So it seems a bit of a weird one.
Can't fit that down your trousers, can you?
Well, no. But I think you should try for a YouTube video, Pete. it just seems a bit silly. It does. It's not the sword that needs to go. And you never read about any crimes committed in the UK with samurai swords of all sorts. So it seems a bit silly.
Get rid of the balaclava. The naughty
Get rid of
boys,
clothes.
they all wear balaclavas, don't they?
Ban clothes in London.
Ban clothes. It's
All
the summertime.
outright.
Everyone should be in shorts. But yeah, it's an interesting one. But it just seems really weird that like Hawaii, obviously a state where you're allowed guns, clearly, they just don't really sort of go. We sort of just let them on their way. Like we're fine with it. So
Yeah.
as long as you're leaving, like we don't care. You deal with whatever you need to deal with when you get the other side. But yeah, because when you fly, you usually have like that kind of pictorial kind of representation of things you're not allowed to take. You know, Zippo refills and lighter fuel and grenades usually, isn't it? And you're like, well, who's bringing that in? Well, clearly this man.
There we go.
Yeah.
Such people do exist when they're like, are you carrying a knife? No, but I'm carrying a revolver. My God, my God. We'll be back in just a moment, guys, with your stories, comments, and questions over in the fax machine.
Wow.
And we're back with the fax machine. What have we got this week from our listeners? Mr. Dawson, fill us in.
We have got a message from Tom from the Netherlands. I've been living in Korea for a decade now and managed to visit Japan 10 times as a tourist. Thanks for the tips and advice. Despite living in Korea for so long, though, my Korean is intermediate at best. Having tried for a few years, it simply means I just can't motivate myself to intensively study Korean. Chris, have you ever disliked studying Japanese? And if so, what did you do to get over it? Thanks for all the podcast, guys. And much love. Best regards, Tom from the Netherlands. Yeah, did you ever hit like a roadblock and then you just kind of got through it?
Yeah, I did. But I find it's quite. I never thought I'd learn Japanese. I was always very bad at languages when I was a student. I sucked at Spanish and German. I don't think it's taught very well in British schools, and I never thought I'd learn another language. So to learn Japanese was quite thrilling. I tried to study it before I came here, and I failed numerous times. I just couldn't find my way in. And it wasn't until I got here that I was extremely incentivized to learn it, right? Because I was working in a school, my students couldn't talk to me, and I wanted to set a good example for my students, and show that I'm learning Japanese, and they're learning English. It's the same. We're the same. So, no, I never really disliked studying Japanese. I'll admit there are definitely times where it's harder or, peaks and troughs, but it's been fun. I've been studying again this year for the first time in years, and it has been really cool. But my God, it takes a lot of time. It does take time. And I am stretched across so many things at the moment that it's been really hard to actually set aside the time to study. But, I don't really have much advice for you there, other than try and find a way to make it fun.
On the audio feed, because we couldn't record on Monday, I put out it's actually last Monday. I put out a little sort of couple of sections that from previous shows, just because we've done like quite a lot of shows, and we've I've not had to dispense any advice, but you certainly have. Your partner Charla has. Dogan was on the show as well, not that long ago, and I put a little clip out of him basically talking about how he recommends sort of studying, and Dogan's side kind of regarded as being one of the best of the best. He's very, very good, certainly at the pronunciation and stuff. And he also finds the examination side of things quite difficult, because his focus has always been on pronunciation and tones and stuff, and so his sort of pronunciation is very good, but actually kind of like remembering everything that needs to get into an exam is a very different situation. And he was basically saying, and I think you both agreed, just like watch as much Japanese stuff as you possibly can. You come home from you may live in Japan, but you come home from work in Japan, and you just everything you consume is in Japanese. Every bit of music, every bit of television, every video game, and just do it that way. Really, that's a really good bit of advice from Dogan and yourself. Yeah,
no, absolutely, definitely. Find a TV show that you get addicted to watch, and that will help. I mean, even something like Tokyo Vice, which is sort of half in English, half in Japanese. I remember using that to listen and sort of practice my listening a little bit there. But find a show that you can tap into, maybe in Korean, and that'll probably be real big help, Tom, to making it work. But best of luck to you on your study journey. Mart from the Netherlands says, hello, Chris and Pete. One day during a solo trip to Japan last year, I was walking in Kitano Maru Koen. when, which is park, not sure where it is, but out of nowhere, I was violently hit in the back of my head. Oh my God. I turned around to see, to my great surprise, a large crow perched atop a fence and staring at me rather menacingly. When the crow came back for round 2, I was ready. I quickly took off my hat and swiped at it. That seemed to do the trick as the crow diverted on its attack path and flew off. It left me completely bewildered and in pain. Chris, I know you had an experience with a noisy eagle, but have either of you had a showdown with a crow? Oh, the best. Mart from the Netherlands. My God, Mart, what the heck did you do to piss off that crow? I have never had that kind of interaction with a crow. I've been attacked by birds wanting to steal food. I remember I was walking down the river once in Sendai with a sandwich, and I heard this like bass drop, like, and this like bird just swooped in and went, just snatched the sandwich out of my hands and flew off to enjoy the good hearty pastrami sandwich that I so sorely craved and deserved. It's very annoying, but it happens. It happens. Bloody birds, they're a menace.
They are, and they make such a horrible noise as well. It's from a spine-chilling, blood-curdling scream. Ah!
Must have had some good food on him. And last of all, Ryan in Canada says, "Hello, Chris and Pete. My wife and I will be taking our second trip to Japan next spring. On our first trip, we stopped in Hakone for an evening at an onsen ryokan. We'll be travelling down south to Kyushu for this trip. Do you have any onsen town recommendations in the region around Fukuoka or along the journey back north to Osaka, Kyoto, and Kansai?" All the best, Ryan in Canada. I'd say Beppu Onsen, Japan's biggest onsen town, the onsen capital of Japan and home to the aforementioned Dogen, is a beautiful place. They got the largest concentration of hot springs in the country, and the 8 hells, these sort of hellish kind of hot springs that protrude from the ground. They're very bright coloured and bubble up. There's also Kurokawa Hot Spring, which we featured on Journey Across Japan, and they've got like, it's famous for having like black tatami, because Kuro means black, of course. Kurokawa, Black River Onsen. Whoa, whoa. Go there. Any places you recommend, Pete?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I always just say the main ones down. Get yourself down Kagoshima way. Beautiful. I mean, Beppu is where my car is from. So maybe you can sort of
biased
chat to the person who owned my car before me and just ask me why he installed it. There's a button on the dashboard that isn't connected to anything, and I'm fascinated to know what it used to be. Absolutely fascinated.
Don't push the red button, whatever you do. There you go. That's the ultimate recommendation. Seek out Pete's car dealership.
Beppu, man. Yeah, it's a hot springs town, isn't it, Beppu? You can eat a bit of food cooked in the volcano water or some bollocks.
Absolutely, and buy a Toyota Century while you're there. Drive it back home to Canada. Keep the stories, questions, comments coming into Abroad Japan Podcast at gmail.com. I'm off now on the cycle. Wish me luck. Tune in at the CDog VA Twitch thing and join me on Instagram where I'll post about it. But for now, guys, see you on the other side of that. And goodbye, Pete. Good luck in Las Vegas. Don't get your face ripped off by some wrestlers, as we alluded to last week. No. As it could well happen.
Forward to it, and you just look after yourself on the bike. All right, so don't let a bear steal your face as you're cycling through.
From bears to wrestlers, the terrors, the fear. But for now, guys, take care. All the best, and thanks for watching the Abroad Japan Podcast. As always, see you soon.